Well, hello again, Moody Interpreters. Just an introductory for week 4. Again, we're going to be halfway through the course by the middle of the week. This week, we have two objectives for you in interpreting Old Testament poetry and prophecy. We want you to be able to apply the interpretive methods utilized in evaluation of poetry and prophecy. As I said in the weekly announcement, the chief characteristic of Hebrew poetry is probably not as in English poetry rhyme, but rather in Hebrew poetry, the chief characteristic is likely parallelism. And there's multiple kinds of parallelism you'll be reading and learning about this week, so really give close note to that. And then with that knowledge, we want you to be able to analyze parallel structures within Hebrew poetry. And again, both the poetic books, Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, Song of Solomon, most of the book of Job, as well as a lot of the prophetical books, have a lot of poetry in them. There's just a little bit of poetry that pops up in the narrative passages that we've already talked about in the previous week. But you'll see a lot of parallelism as you learn this skill and hone this skill as you work through Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, Song of Solomon, Job, and some of the prophets. You'll be reading through Klein again, about 35 pages. You've got your two audio lectures to listen to, one on poetry and one on prophecy. You've got a good discussion board question again this week. I've already gone over that in my weekly announcement on the announcement page. So if you haven't listened to that video, you may want to do that. But keep in mind that you need to use Turabian style. You should be supporting your statements with citations from your reading or other sources, and you must cite properly according to Turabian. And then, of course, if you cite sources, there should be a bibliography of those sources at the end as well. Be sure to use Roman numerals, do not use Roman numerals in your footnotes, but rather Arabic numerals, the normal 1, 2, 3 that you're accustomed to seeing. And then you've got your parallelism assignment, where you'll be working on this skill and using this skill in analyzing Psalm 8. It ought to be an exciting week for you, so I trust you're looking forward to it as you maybe get introduced to Hebrew poetry and its influence in our understanding of the Old Testament for the very first time. God bless you as you work through this week's work.